Liamo All-Star once again for part 2 of our US trip. We were on there for an hour in the last podcast and we just had to stop and get ourselves some meal and some fresh air and I don't know, what else did we get? Raymond's. We watched Everybody Loves Raymond's and the end of Frasier. Oh, fun stuff. Where were we last time? We got up to, well, we covered the first day, we covered the second day, so a Friday and then Saturday Universal. We're pretty much only halfway through this damn thing at the moment and we spent an hour discussing it. We really did a lot. Or maybe not a lot, maybe nothing. But we're up to the tail of the tape which discusses what happened. Did I survive the skydive? Did I end up going back to see Titus? Well, if you have half a brain, you'd know that obviously I survived the skydive, but let me explain just exactly how it happened. And the Titus thing, I guess I'll leave that as a cliffhanger for the next 10, 15 minutes, however long it takes me to get through the story. And maybe Alan can fill the next bit of the story in, because I did nothing but pretty much drive for about 2 hours to Santa Barbara. It was good scenery, but long-ass drive. You were taking quite a few photos on the way and sort of keeping an eye out for police.
Yes, I was.
No, yeah, exactly. My point exactly. It was sarcasm. It obviously doesn't go through on the... No, he's the kind of person that says, no, don't worry, you could park in that no standing spot. I think you'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, and then I go park somewhere else because I figured, well, obviously he wants to see the world burn. And sure enough, walking by later on, not even an hour later, where I would have parked, and parking officers going through and booking every single person, including the person who parked where I was going to park.
I said you could park there. I didn't say you should.
Yeah. But the night before I forgot to name drop the couple of people, the nice, if they're even listening to this right now, the nice people that had the discussion with us, Myra and Alejandro. I've got to say again, thank you for tolerating and sitting across from us at the first Titus, and if you're listening right now, there's your name drop right there. And yeah, like I promised with you guys and everyone else, kind of putting this forward, and yeah, I'll have my comedy bits out shortly as well. But yeah, back to the story, I suppose. Because yeah, we drove out to Santa Barbara for the skydive, and we got there because it was 9 o'clock booking.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock? Yeah, we got there at about 9:30, maybe around about, and. Oh, the fun part about it was that there was apparently fog in the morning, which we actually drove through on the way. So there was a bit of fog, and then there was a bit of sunshine, a bit of fog, and a bit of sunshine. There were... This is the part that I love about LA. Yeah, okay, I'll just put it this way. I was driving a little faster on the way to Santa Barbara because it's like, well, everyone's driving fast, whatever. Okay, pick up some extra time and maybe get a bit of shut-eye before I dive out of a plane, so I'm not just asleep on the way down. But yeah, then I saw a bike cop tailing behind me, and I'm thinking, nuts, am I going to be yeah, because Australia, everyone knows that the second you got a bike cop on your ass, you know you're done. You know they're going to get you. Then they're going to look for any reason whatsoever. They might even need a reason. They'll pull you over and they'll come up with a reason. They'll figure something out. They'll go to freaking Parliament and they'll make a new law and they'll say, oh, well, you know, your hair is not quite straight and that could get in your face and distract you while you're driving. So that's a 1 demerit fine and $200. Yeah. Pretty much. That's how the government works. But they were tailing behind and they passed. They went past me as if I wasn't going fast enough for them. I was maybe only going barely 5 miles an hour, maybe 10, okay, maybe around about that. And they just flew past. I just sort of figured something about the LA police is that they go for more. Alan's probably thinking right now, what the hell am I talking about? While he's sitting there observing a torch. Mo, as in eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Because eventually we end up passing by and one random person pulled over every so often. It wasn't me. I'm not Mo. I'm Liamo.
That's terrible.
You could shake your head all you want. You're contributing nothing to this discussion right now, so I'm doing it. But yeah, because we were waiting at the skydive. It pretty much took the whole day. And yeah, still in the back of my mind was a bit of Titus. But then I was like, if we've got time, maybe I'll consider taking that advice and go back to see him again. And this time do it right. But on the other part of my mind, I was like, oh boy, I get to jump out of a plane again. It's 4th time for me. And third for you. First time was New Zealand, and the first one was in town. Where was
Queenstown?
Yeah, Queenstown. And then because they messed up my video, then I did the next one in Wanaka, so I could actually have some evidence that I skydove. And then we all went again in was it Melbourne somewhere?
Torquay.
See, he's got that's why he's here. He's got all the names and stuff, Like I said, good with places and faces, bad with names. And then now went and Santa Barbara skydive. So yeah, we're waiting around and we're sitting around. We've got to do the mandatory watching the video that's on constant loop about how skydiving is dangerous and you'll probably die, so be safe up there. It's like, what do you say? It's like, okay, what advice can you give someone that's about to fall 18,000 feet from the air or lower? I mean, what can you really tell them?
Don't die.
I don't know, tuck your chin, keep your chin up, I don't know.
I think the lawyer's job was just to inform us that what we were doing was incredibly stupid and that we were probably going to die.
The person who came up with the idea that jumping out of a plane was a good idea. Some things in life turn out to be absolutely brilliant, even though in other people's minds they are absolutely chaotic and stupid. Like jumping out of a plane, an amazing experience that you should do if you ever get the courage, and it's very, very rare that something actually does happen. So if you ever do, go skydive, because it is actually something that is wonderful. And then there are some things that are absolutely destructive and chaotic, like electing Donald Trump as your president. I'm sorry, I just had to go there. But yeah, what can you do? But we're waiting around and signing the waivers with signature. Yeah, I was Dr. No that day, so every initial that you won't sue. Okay, and you're going to make sure that your parents don't sue, your kids don't sue, your friends, nobody, and that you hold us harmless even if we're at fault. No. And I accepted it. So, but it's really, I mean, no contract is they're not worth the weight that the ink is printed on them. They're really not anything that anyone can really take seriously, because you jump out of a plane, if something is their fault, or even if it's not your fault, you're going to fall and just freaking hit your whole body. Everything. It'd just be a splat on the ground, and you can't sue us. It's like, what is this, kindergarten? It's like, nah, you said, you promised. It's like, there are no rules. There are no rules in the sky. I mean, to a certain height that the human can reach, but airspace.
That's FAA.
But above that, it's like, what, NASA? You're going to argue with NASA? You're going to argue with science. Science says you can't argue those things. But yeah, a lot of kind of dragging things out here. But yeah, went up, skydove, and it was very good. And the instructors that we had, well, they were pretty damn amazing. And yeah, the guy that I was with, because as soon as they hear that you're you've done it more than once, they basically like, the same attitude that I got, because maybe looking into just getting the solo license to skydive, because then it's a lot cheaper and it's apparently, it's much greater experience, and it'll be your own fault if you fall and basically splat on the ground. You won't take anyone else out with you, I guess. But the most important thing is that, it's something that you get to do, and also it's a great experience, they say, and they pretty much, everyone since, because I did the 2 New Zealand ones, and then the one did in Torquay, and now the one in Santa Barbara, they said, you should just get your skydivers, I think they even recommended it to you in Torquay, because it's like, oh, what was your second time as well? Your second time by that point, and they're like, you should get it as well, and your answer was...
Skydiving is the single stupidest thing you could possibly do with your life.
I don't think that was your answer. I think it was a little more subtle, like nah.
No.
I was like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, it had undertones of being the single stupidest thing you could do.
But then a sort of, we had a free day. We had the tentative schedule. We were going to go to Santa Monica afterwards, but the day just sort of dragged out because of the skydive. We didn't really have much time, because we were going to go past Santa Monica, and New Malibu was on the way back as well. And even if there was time, San Diego, if we could have fit it in, but that was looking a bit tentative as well at the time. So, it was a right opportunity to say, we'll grab some lunch, and I guess because there were a couple of shoes that I was looking for as well, running shoes. If there was time to go look for some running shoes, have something to eat and something along the, and then basically the opportunity was there to go and see Titus perform again. And on the drive back, by some hot luck, we were 10 minutes late again. How did that happen? We had so much more time this time. I mean, you can't explain it. No, you don't want to explain it. You say Google is right once again. I cannot beat Google. I tried twice. Google is God. I must accept it as my Lord and Savior. Well, not so much my Savior, but the one who controls fate. So, we went and saw Titus again. By this point, I think the only time I've been tireder than this was when I had to, be up early in the morning for an assessment for a bunch of swimmers, basically recording their lap times and anything, and getting an appreciation and a very sarcastic and brief and utter testimony regarding why the hell do they get up so goddamn early in the winter and swim when they could do it any other time of the day. Oh, there's a text from Junk interrupting. There's an old saying, if there's an interruption from your phone during a podcast, you owe everyone a drink. Unfortunately, I don't drink. Neither does Alan. The only thing I got right here is a Pepsi. So, I guess I owe myself a drink. So we went back and we saw Titus again, and much like just now, I pretty much coked myself up. I drank soft drink to keep myself alive, and by the end of it, it was like, you'd seen and spoken to Titus as much as you needed to, and it was sort of an awkward situation for you. So I was like, if you want to wait in the car, that's fine. You're like, okay, give me the keys, bye, gone. It's like I've already talked to Titus. I already met him. I had a conversation. It was great. I don't need to do it again.
I think you have a bit of a man crush on him. I met him. He seemed all right. I was like, yeah, sure. I don't want to go through that again.
But you already did. You got that opportunity. And I just threw it away because I was like, nah, I don't want to waste your time with it.
No. Instead, you wasted hours of my time driving back down to Brea.
I do apologize again for that. And I shouted dinner and everything. I think. I don't know. I was tired. I forget what the hell I did.
I don't think we had dinner that night.
I meant to.
Oh,
I was gonna.
that's all right.
But I apologize profusely. I was like, thank you again, because at the end of the show, the opportunity presented itself again, and shout out first to Bombshell Ray, Rachel Bradley. I guess the secret's out now. It's actually the second time I went to meet him. Well, technically the first time that I actually spoke to him, but also the first time I spoke to Rachel, and to divulge on the conversation, basically. Met up and, shook hands, introduced myself. My name's Liam, really nice to meet you. She's a really lovely person. And, she was like, oh, basically said to her, because I listened to the podcast because she, Titus and Fetus, 3 people. Well, if you listen to the podcast, that's, Titus, Bombshell and Fetus, who do a podcast known as the Christopher Titus Podcast, also known as the Armageddon Update. And I guess that's a plug for another show. But I said, because I listened to the podcast, I've seen Titus, I've seen his specials, I've watched the shows, and I've come from Australia to see him and do a few other things, that also to see Titus and to also then go to New York and to see Seinfeld. It's like, oh my god, really? That's great. You're going out to see comedian, because getting into a bit of comedy myself, and it's not the craziest thing I've done, I guess, is jumped out of a plane just earlier today, and mentioned how the other day we're at Universal, and she was mentioning how she has a great view over Universal, to which I pretty much joked, it's like, oh, then you probably saw us there then. Ha 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 ha. No, but then sort of segued over to Chris, who was pretty much where Rachel pretty much dragged me over. It's like, oh, Chris, this is Liam. He's come from he's come all the way from Australia just to see you. He's going to do the comedy tour. He's he's seeing you, and then he's going to New York to see Seinfeld. And he looked at me, he's like, really? You came all the way out just to see me? It wasn't
twice.
Well, now you know. So now you probably think I'm really nuts. I'm part of the sorority now. But it was almost like, at first I was like, really? You came all the way from Australia just to see me? When it's like, almost like, what are you, crazy? But it's like, well, I guess that's a fan, hey? It's like, then pretty much, reiterated, because she said, because he's gonna see you and then see Seinfeld, and then he actually mentions that he's looking at some point to come out to Australia, and we got into a bit of discussion about what some of the, because mentioned coming into a bit of comedy, and earlier the day, it's not the craziest thing I've done, jumped out of a plane. Well, it didn't literally jump out of a plane and come straight here, but that would have been pretty cool. And got a bit of a laugh out of him as well. Just it was, we were talking about comedy clubs in Brisbane and around Gold Coast, which because from Queensland, and mentions how there's a number in Brisbane, there's a few down the Gold Coast, and they're good places to go to, but did mention to Rachel, and also said to Titus, that maybe if you come to Australia, that someone else should drive, because if people don't know by Titus's reputation, he's a rev head behind the wheel. He's quite an angry driver. And rightfully so. When you get Prius drivers on the road, there's a reputation over in America. I guess you could probably explain it better than I could, because I was just as incensed as everyone with regards to Prius drivers. Just give a few examples of just how bad Prius drivers are in LA.
They are numerous and slow. They merge very slowly. I've driven a Prius before, and they're not as gutless as everyone would assume they are. But it seems that the type of person that buys a Prius is.
Yeah, saving the planet by killing the rest of us through brain aneurysms and probably smashing into a pole by driving off an extra 10 or 20 miles per hour, taking the bend too freaking quickly, and then just kind of crashing it. You're killing us, man, you Prius drivers. But maybe that's the whole point, because each person removed from the planet is another footprint removed. Yeah. And more Prius drivers, they will outnumber us one day. But yeah, had a nice, lovely discussion with Titus, and yeah, by the end of it, thanked him for his comedy, and then got the video, just a short video, because I mentioned how my mother, who was a big fan of Titus as well, and just to, because I did promise her that I'd get a brief video for her, and I'll also pop that up on the YouTube channel as well. We basically got into just basically a short clip for her, quite a funny clip, but I'll leave the synopsis out so that it could be a bit more of a surprise when I actually post it up. But yeah, that pretty much closed out, and the drive back, I was surprised that I was able to actually stay awake, and I think Alan was probably petrified in the passenger seat, probably wondering if he should drive home, because
no, it was good. I was having a little nap on the way back.
Oh, excellent. So I was on my own there.
You're on your own.
Oh, excellent. So I could have just literally fallen asleep. I never have, and I felt myself, get tired to the point where others would, but I've had so much mental discipline that I've been able to keep myself awake. That's probably the worst thing, because that's the stuff that can usually lead to, I don't know, dementia, heart attacks, all that sort of thing, because your body shuts down for a reason when you're sleepy. And that's where Alan's like, screw this. I mean, we've already been talking for an hour about LA. Let's get on with it. Well, Disneyland was the next day on a Monday. Wasn't as busy as I thought it would be, but it was still pretty busy. But it was something that really, it took up the whole day. But at the same time, I mean, it was very good. I mean, what would you have to say about it? I mean, just jot my memory. What the hell did we do?
Lots of roller coasters.
So there's a Space Mountain we went to first.
Space Mountain first.
And it was probably the oldest ride they have there.
It was pretty good though.
It was dark, and musical, and a lot of screaming kids. I'm sort of thinking, yeah, it's all right. It's just all, go left, go right, go up, go down. Can't see where I'm going. Don't know what I'm doing, but
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we got to the end of the line, and okay. And then the Star Wars Museum was right next to it. And what did that lady say again? That's don't stay away from the gift shop.
Yes.
It was sort of like, I was thinking to myself, stay away from the cafeteria. Too late for the both of us. No, but we'll look through, and yeah, there's a pretty interesting, because they had some of the character miniatures and a few other things, and something like a $200 lightsaber, like a $60 plastic lightsaber or something. I forget, but it's like, we're talking US dollars here, and inflated prices perhaps as well for a lot of memorabilia and stuff. So I just took a photo of it. So it's like, well, now technically I have it, just in photo form. Where the hell did we go after that? We went from, because there was a lot of lines as well. Disneyland, more waiting, more lines, and
we went to the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
That was way later on. But before that, there was
Splash Mountain.
Yeah, I don't think we went on that, or did we?
Yeah, we did. There was one with the Yetis.
Yeah, the Yetis. It was weird. Why the hell were there Yetis in a mountain?
It was lots of roller coasters. And
Indiana Jones, which was all right, and the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which was just basically, I don't know, it was just like a scenic ride that just drifted along. I thought there'd be like a big drop at the end or something, but there was a drop in the beginning, but then the rest of it was just a nice.
It was Duff Gardens.
Yeah.
with the singing animatronics the entire way through.
Pretty much, and it passed by a actual restaurant that may or may not have been by there. Unless that was actually part of it. then kudos, because they were all very lifelike and interactive. But I think they actually have updated that ride a bit, because they included that little squid face guy, the one with the
Davy Jones.
yeah. I mean, geez, I've been in one of those damn Pirates movies and I can't even. Like, you jackass, you've been in the movie and you know nothing about it. Well, as an extra, but nevertheless in the movie, in the second unit. So
In a blur in the background.
hey, you probably saw my feet.
Oh, feet.
My feet are featured.
Feet.
Or maybe they just cut it, because they shot a lot of scenes and they went over schedule, and they, all the troubles, Depp's dogs, etc., Barnaby Joyce, yada yada yada. But they had an animatronic of the Jack Sparrow, the Johnny Depp Jack Sparrow at the very end, which obviously wouldn't have been there when the original, because I'm pretty sure the Pirates of the Caribbean ride's one of the oldest rides as well. And, I mean, I'm basing this on absolutely nothing right now. But the LA trip, what the hell did we do on that last day? I cannot remember right now. Because we were gonna go to San Diego, but then it was like we just pretty much ran out of time, and the flight was, it was like a early, it's like a late afternoon flight. What the hell did we do on the Tuesday?
That's a good question.
I do not remember.
We went somewhere, not San Diego, which had the Comic-Con at the time. We went.
No. That's where we yes, that's where we picked up where we left off. We went through and drove. We went to Santa Monica to see where the 2.5 Men, was approximately shot. The Hollywood sign. That's what it was. We walked up to the Hollywood sign. That's what we did. We walked up to the Hollywood sign, and you almost died.
I did not.
You had a lot of mandated breaks.
I had a lot of mandated breaks on the way up the hill. Once we were on the flat, I was fine.
This is what happens when you've got an IT specialist and a fitness specialist. The two of them walking up the hill together. One of them's like, keep going. The other one's going, I have a union and I have rights. And if I didn't leave my cyborg, body at home, my virtual reality, I'd be able to make it up that hill faster than you could say, where'd you go and what are you doing?
I was playing it smart, not fast. It's fine to take breaks.
Hey, I there. But yeah, the Hollywood sign. Then we went through to Santa Monica, and the Santa Monica Pier. Bit more childish, more child's play than anything else. I guess probably to be expected with the Santa Monica Pier, but it was good to check it out, and went on a couple of rides and had a lot of screaming Mexican children behind me on one of them. They were screaming in Mexican. I believe what they said was, this is scary, or I'm scared, but you're adamant that they were saying spaghetti.
I thought they were saying spaghetti.
No, I'm pretty sure they were saying, unless they were saying spaghetti in Mexican, I'm pretty sure they were saying, scared.
I think
scary.
Spaghetti in Mexican is just spaghetti.
I mean, I don't think there's a word in Mexican for spaghetti, is there?
It's an Italian word, so no.
It's like entrepreneur. Or
it's a French word.
Or jackass. I don't know.
I think America can have that one.
No, but then, went to Malibu, got some fuel, got some water shoes for the inevitable next leg of the trip, where the jet ski tour that we were going to do. But, we did all that scenic tour. I think that's pretty much all we did. Like, we did all that, came back, and just relaxed for the first part of the damn holiday, I think, because I think by that point really didn't get any sleep at all. And it's supposed to be a holiday, and no sleep. Like, first night maybe got close to 6, second night maybe 3, and then third night maybe 6. and maybe the same again, and then had to be up early the next morning to get the flight, but then got the notice that no, we got a bit of extra time because Qantas Spirit of Australia, but the same attitude of Australia too. Shall be right and couldn't be stuffed. So we get to the airport, drop the car off. It's not damaged, but they're giving me the whole spiel where, if it's damaged, they'll take the money off your card. And it's like, yeah, well, it's not damaged, so go screw yourself, you prick. Just some lady with an attitude, I guess, but never really any dramas or trouble. I mean, we did, on the way back heading to the airport, maybe a bit more of a sketchy area, but didn't really get a feel like LA was really a bad, dangerous place. Like,
there were a fair few drug users and homeless, but not like middle of Kenya. You don't fear for your life when you're walking down the street.
But still, I think even in Kenya, you probably walking down Kenya and you'd be all right. I mean, I don't know. It just depends where you go, I suppose. Like anywhere, like there's going to be that one sketchy neighborhood, like for example, maybe the one that I live in. I think my neighborhood's not so bad, but then maybe it's because it's close to a main road, so there's a easy escape route for people. You don't really get trapped in there. And if anyone does do any illegal activity, they hoof the fence over to the other side of the other road down the back, and bada bing, bada boom, they're done. Yes, it's fun. Tales of the tape of the city of Logan. But I believe it. Yeah, we had a good time, and I definitely because we didn't get to see San Diego, and there was that part where you wanted to go to Mexico.
Yeah. Well, you did not have time, not even close.
I don't think anyone really has the time nor the patience. I mean, getting to Mexico apparently real easy. You can get to Mexico. There's really no security compared to when you're coming from Mexico to America. So there's a whole lineup of traffic, and from what I've been told by people, Mexico, great place, great food, great atmosphere. Come to night time and there's army trucks with turrets on the top of them driving rounds.
So the stories go.
I mean, see it to believe it, but then do you really want to test the theories of what people are saying? I mean, to prove a point to say, oh yeah, I bet you they're not.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
That the turret will win if there's a turret. It's like, come on, turret, you're not as fast as me.
But that's law enforcement turrets, not drug dealer turrets.
Yeah. And that's a warning shot. Just he's warning, see?
I think you're overestimating Mexico's level of technology.
Have you been to Mexico?
No.
Then you don't know. You don't know anything.
I'm sorry to the cartel who are currently listening to this.
Oh, I'm sure they're fine. They're probably like, see, this guy's funny. We don't talk like that.
It's not racist at all.
I don't know how to do a Mexican accent. I've only got Cheech and Chong to go off of. But, yeah, I should stop talking.
I think only one of those was Mexican. I don't think he was even Mexican.
Well, that's what happens when we just talk on the fly and don't actually do any research. Kind of like school.
Moving along.
Yeah, so the flight was delayed. So got the car back and everything, and brought forward yet again through time. And the first day, transitioning LA to New York. I mean, I almost skipped over the best freaking part, didn't I? I almost skipped over the LA open mic, didn't I?
You did skip over the LA open mic.
I must apologise. When did we do that? That would have been...
Through the magic of editing, you can fix this mistake.
Or I could just say...
It was on the last night.
Yes. We did that on the last night before the flight, but now we're not too far gone that we can't mention that and close off the second part of LA at the very least. Maybe I should let you explain and take the story from here, because my perspective and especially because I'm sort of in that industry at the moment, might cause me to be dejected and excluded. Maybe I'll let you explain just exactly the atmosphere and what exactly went on.
So this isn't the first open mic that Liam has dragged me to. It was a very small room, adjacent to a much larger, much more busy comedy club. A little bar, maybe full of 10, 12 comedians. Nobody else, just comedians and
maybe
me.
A couple of spectators, but they were very
Drunk
and sad. They looked like they were make me laugh.
Yeah,
My life hurts. It's in LA. We're not succeeding.
that was some of the comedians as well. So Liam was not the first one up. They called up for 3-minute spots, maybe 10 before Liam.
If I could just quickly interject, usually open mics run for typically 5 minutes in the open mic. That's typically a spot. They were 3 minutes, and yeah, I'll let you take it back over from here. But yeah, usually they're 5-minute spots.
They were 3 minutes, and most of them shouldn't have been that long. It did seem like a very expensive group therapy session for comedians. Each comedian would get up, say, "Hello, my name is this," after already being introduced. They would attempt to tell a few jokes. There were a few that were not too bad, but for the most part, they were suicidal. Not funny at all. Pretty much just, a cheap group therapy session for stand-up comedians in LA who never really made it. Probably the class act amongst them all was the guy who got up, stuck the microphone in his mouth, and proceeded to tell us all how he spoke to his dick.
He had the microphone. He was like, I have to reenact this. Like, I'll grab the microphone right now and see if the...
Does anyone ever, talk to their own dick? Cause, I, talk to my dick sometimes, and it's like...
And then after that, he went into some bit where it was like, does anyone come out to their parents as gay, had come out of the closet? One person in the back, put their hand up, whether he was serious or not, and then he was pretty much like, why would you do that? Like, he was pretty much obviously anti-gay, and he made a point that he was Semitic, that he was Jewish, and that's
so he was circumcised then. Awesome.
Yeah. It makes it easy to put the mic in his mouth, doesn't it? But then he basically berated this person, like, why would you do that? And it's like, then he was like, and forgive me for the slight brief language, but it's like, are there any faggots in the audience? It's like, oh my God. And then at the end, his time came up, and thank goodness. And there was one person that gave the trying to start the clap. It was like, that was it. That was the applause that he got. That was it, and that was even way too much. I'm not going to say that what I did that night was my best material. What I did was, Mr. Unbiased here, what would you say about mine? Bad? Good? Shouldn't have been up there? Did I have a dick in my mouth?
I did not see a dick in your mouth. You weren't the least funny person there. I might even go so far as to say you might have been the most funny person in group therapy for stand-up comedians, LA.
Yeah.
But as you closed the night off, and there were very, very few people left by that point.
Yeah, they were going, and it's like there were a couple of people that could have provided good laughs, and that's the other thing as well. There was a guy there. there was a guy there who was, he was up on the stage as well, and he was telling the real bad dad jokes, but a couple of them were funny and that. But then he made the introduction of his wife, if I could just really quickly find her name again, because like I said before, I keep saying I'm bad with names, good with faces. But the administrator from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, maybe that's where I need to get the IT guy to assist me in this query right now, or go to what is it, Siri? What does Android have? Google. That's right, ask Google, because we actually met a celebrity. And if we could just get her name real quick. Yes, of course, Eddie McClurg as Grace in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, as well as a number of other things. What other things has she done? Oh, you got the damn thing right there.
Frozen, Wreck-It Ralph, Little Mermaid, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Natural Born Killers, A Bug's Life.
So she's done a fair bit of voiceover work, unless that's completely inaccurate.
That's more recent. Yeah, she has been in quite a number of movies.
Yeah, so, we got to, sit with her and have a bit of a discussion, and even she was horrified and mortified by the guy that had the microphone down his throat. But, yeah, the guy, he talked your ear off, because I was up there, getting ready for my brief 3-minute set, and I just figured I'll just try out something that I've just been putting together, because nothing... I could try and make this audience laugh with my best material, but no matter what, they're just not going to laugh. And if they do, it'll be a chuckle. But there are a couple of people that laughed. I reckon they're probably a bit of exaggeration from Eddie's wife.
Edie.
Edie's
a woman, Eddie's a man. Edie.
Like I said, bad with names. But, is his husband's name here? Is it?
I doubt it.
Blah, 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 blah. Come on.
Edie came along to see her husband's performance, I think, more out of sympathy than anything. Yes, he was very...
Dead space.
No, I'm just trying to think. He was very chatty. He
was a nice guy.
He's a really nice guy.
And they meant well. Just sometimes it's like there are some jokes that they're so funny that it hurts, and then there are some things that it hurts so much that it's funny, and then there are the things that hurts because you just tell one of those jokes and it's just like like for example the old-fashioned joke, did you hear about the constipated maths teacher? He worked it out with a pencil. That kind of, that's sort of that kind of.
That's funny.
Just freaked out a bunch of maths teachers and pencil holders at the same time, and puts a new definition of pencil pusher if ever I heard one. But I can't believe it. Yeah, almost let that one go. Almost let that one slide. But yeah, then we got on the plane. Then the taxi debacle. Monsieur Allen wanted to get a taxi, and the taxi guy had an issue with everything.
He wasn't French.
No. But his car was... What? You offered to take us...
It's in New York, it's called a black cab. It's pretty much an unmarked cab. They've got taxi registration and everything. But I did a fair bit of reading beforehand, and his FPOS machine was broken, and he would not give me a price. So I called Bull and said, forget about it, we'll find somebody else. So we went to the cab rank, which Liam said, yeah, he'll pay for, no worries. And I went, okay.
So I guess this was probably your revenge for Titus. It was, $140 American by the end of that, after tip and everything. And then later on, fast forward later on, you're looking at Uber because we Ubered everywhere. It's like, oh, you know what? If we Ubered, we could have only gone from there. Would have been $60.
It was much cheaper to Uber.
It's like, oh, my balls, my financial balls. Oh, freaking hell. But we got to the place okay. We met, he was a nice guy. He was wearing a white robe and had a ginger beard, an African-American fella, and, obviously a migrant. But he was a nice guy, and...
he was just an African, but sure.
Or probably just an African, I guess. Maybe not an African-American. Or maybe he could have been an African-American.
No, he was African.
Just African.
Yeah.
Could have been Sudanese, could have been Nigeria. I don't know what part of Africa I'll just face it right now. I'm ignorant in that regard. I don't know. I'm sorry if I don't get it specifically right. If I just say the whole continent instead of a specific country, I apologize. But I just don't know. And maybe I should. That's me. That's my bit. But yeah, he was a nice guy. Took the tour to get to, because we were, was it Weehawken? Weehawken. Love the name. Weehawken, New Jersey. Yes, it's sleeping, saying Weehawken, New Jersey. Get that New Jersey accent. Yeah.
It's not even close.
You know which coast it is.
I'm sorry for Liam's accents.
I'm not even trying. I am an actor, damn it! An actor in training, and one day I will be in movies. Actually, I've already been in movies. But I will be in the front of movies.
Just not a talking part. Maybe.
Hey, I've already been in the fronts in movies, but I'm working my way to speaking well. Maybe I'll ad-lib in a movie one day, and they'll do one or two things. They'll either kick me off set, or they'll upgrade me to a speaking role, and then kick me off set. Pay me for the 2 words I said, which would probably be, oh crap, and I trip over a cable and smash a $10,000 camera or whatever. Probably a lot more than that.
Probably a lot more than that, yeah.
But everyone will be hearing about it. But yeah, in the place that we were staying at was really it was like a posh upstart for what we paid for it. It really was upper class, and compared to the one we were in Hollywood, I mean, we didn't rent a car because obviously in New York that would be just plain right insanity right there, and just not something that you'd do. So we just Ubered it everywhere. And there was a donut shop right across from us. It was beautiful. A pizza shop across from that. Went to the pizza place. I had me 2 slices of what was called self-anointed, self-designated to be the biggest slices in town. And I was hungry, so I thought 2 slices of cheeseburger pizza, barbecue cheeseburger, would be sufficient. I was wrong for all the wrong reasons. You decided to be generous in your proportion and had 1 slice. I had 1 3/4 before I had to tap out and say, I can't eat any more of this. I want to keep my girlish figure. Barely made it back to the hotel, and we actually got some goddamn sleep. And yeah, it was unfortunate that the flight was delayed, but then I guess because of the experience maybe we had in the comedy club, because I was kind of hoping maybe could do an open mic in New York, and I think the ones that could have gone to in New York would have been a lot better, because I think LA has a lot of smaller venues around. They got the reputable ones as well, but the New York ones, I think, they got a lot, but then they've got definitely some more reputable ones around, and could have gone, if it could have made it to that one. But it is what it is. And I guess that brings us to, there I said it is what it is, and that brings us to the next part, which is the last leg of the podcast and also the tour of New York. But I think we'll pause it right there and stick that part for the next one, because we're heading towards an hour again, and I don't know, I need a bit of a breather. What do you reckon?
Yeah, me too. I've done a lot of talking. I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the LA leg. I reckon we could get the whole... Let's make a deal. We'll make it 3-part. and get the New York one done in the next part and finish this damn thing for everyone. But for the moment, in the meantime, in between times, this is Alan. My name is Liam. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned for the next part of the New York tour in this version of reality.